Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The Bel Air Town Hall meeting of April the 1st, 2024 will now come to order. It is 7 p.m. And let me call the roll. Commissioner Rutledge.
Here.
Commissioner Taylor.
Here.
Commissioner Chance. Here. Commissioner Chismar cannot be with us tonight, and I'm present, Commissioner Edding. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Yes, Madam Chair, I'd like to make the motion that the minutes from the Board of Commissioners meeting held on March the 12th, 2024. I'm sorry. It is not that? I'm being told all I need to say is I move to approve the agenda.
All right. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion of the agenda this evening? All right. In that case, Mr. Krantz?
Thank you, Madam Chair. To approve this evening's agenda, April 1st, 2024, Commissioner Rutledge,
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor,
Aye.
Commissioner Chance,
Aye.
and Chair Edding.
Aye. Agenda
is approved.
Thank you.
Sorry
Next
about
on our
that.
agenda is the approval of the minutes. Do I have a motion?
All right, I'm going to try again. I'd like to make a motion that the minutes from the Board of Commissioners meeting held on March the 12th, 2024, and March the 18th, 2024 be approved as submitted, including the minutes from the following meetings. March the 12th, 2024 Commissioners Work Session meeting, and March the 18th Commissioner Town Hall meeting.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion of the minutes? All right. Mr. Krantz?
Thank you, Madam Chair. To approve the minutes, Commissioner Rutledge,
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor,
Aye.
Commissioner Chance,
Aye.
and Chair Edding.
Aye.
The minutes are approved.
Thank you. Next on our agenda is the presentation of a proclamation for the Bel Air Kite Festival Day. And here to receive the proclamation this evening is a representative from the Aberdeen Proving Ground Federal Credit Union, Mr. Brian Wilcox. Please come forward so we can officially thank you for everything that you've done over the years. This proclamation from the entire board, whereas the Bel Air Kite Festival founded in 2006, and since that time the annual festival has grown in popularity to attract thousands of Harford County families to this event every year. And whereas the Kite Festival's purpose is to provide a family-friendly annual event for children of all ages and enjoy flying a kite with their friends, family, and neighbors in Rockfield Park, and whereas this festival would not be possible without the support of the Aberdeen Proving Ground Federal Credit Union, the premier sponsor of the Bel Air Kite Festival, and their generous donations. Equally important are all the volunteers, including the friends and family of Alan Alt and the members of the Wings Over Washington Kite Club and the American Kite Flyers Association, who also generously donate their time and energy to make this festival extra special. And whereas this is the 17th year that the town of Bel Air has coordinated the Kite Day Festival with volunteers and staff in bringing this family fun activity to Rockfield Park and giving away hundreds of kites to kids of all ages. We now, therefore, the Bel Air Board of Town Commissioners declare April the 13th, 2024 to be designated Kite Day in the town of Bel Air and encourage all town residents to go fly a kite. So let me thank you for your sponsorship. We appreciate it.
Very welcome.
So
Now, we have the photo op with our lovely backdrop.
Yes, it's very nice.
Thank you so
All right,
much.
Thank you.
Now to the real business on the agenda. First, we have the Resolution 1227-24, Town Administrator's Fiscal Year 2025 Budget. Do I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I move that the proposed resolution number 1227-24, providing for the receipt of the town administrator's budget for fiscal year 2025 be received by the Board Town of Commissioners.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Taylor. Ms. Moody.
I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Hopkins.
All right. Mr. Hopkins.
Thank you. Actually, I was going to do a whole plethora of April Fool's jokes today, but I didn't want to give Lisa a heart attack. So anyway,
Maybe that was the April Fool's joke. I called on Ms. Moody to do the budget presentation.
and no joke, my testimony is actually longer than the 7-page summary you're going to get tonight, so bear with me. Good evening, Commissioners, and thank you. I want to begin by first thanking my department heads and all of our town employees for helping craft the FY25 budget. While technically it is a town administrator's budget, and it is mine to finalize and present, I could not have done this without the suggestions and overall support. The town employee listening sessions have also become an invaluable tool, and were once again instrumental in this budget process. I appreciate the employees who attended and provided comment. I would also be remiss if I did not personally thank Lisa Moody, our Director of Finance. Lisa's continual attention and diligence to every detail of the budget, not only as we built FY25, but throughout the year, demonstrates the highest levels of fiscal responsibility and budget integrity. I'm extremely grateful for her many long hours that went into preparing what you're about to receive this evening. Tonight, I'm pleased to present to you our proposed FY25 budget, which is balanced at $19,444,128. While we will delve deeper into the details over the next 7 weeks, I would like to provide you with some highlights as to what you will see. I should preface my remarks that I have set 4 budget goals and have aligned my budget with those goals. While they are listed 1 to 4, they are not prioritized as such, as I view them as integrating with each other to successfully meet the needs of our town and balance the budget. These 4 goals in brief are service to our citizens, infrastructure needs, keeping pace, and employee recognition, recruitment, retention, and morale. First, in service to our citizens is paramount. Our budget must be about sound fiscal policy, ensuring citizen tax dollars are spent wisely, and providing optimum town service that our residents have come to appreciate and expect. Our staff has set a high bar for customer service and the delivery of goods and services. As a result, residents have benefited from a dedicated workforce, and our residents really deserve nothing less. Second, third, and fourth goals kind of run together, but they are keeping pace and an aging infrastructure. It's very easy to defer our problems, or any problems or issues for that matter, in the hopes that our economy will improve or we'll get an influx of revenue. Aging infrastructure often outpaces a municipality's ability to maintain it. It is easy to kick the repair can down the road, and budgets are often balanced based on the often used cliche, we'll look for it in next year's budget. But we are faced with falling behind if we don't address this in a timely manner. We are faced with the choice that as our infrastructure gets older, it will need more maintenance and updating, and more often than not, it breaks down just at the exact time you need it to be fully functional. We know costs continue to rise, so either we pay now or pay more later, not to mention suffer supply chain issues which are currently plaguing our country. We also know that if we do not keep pace with salary trends or sustaining our employee base, we'll also fall behind, and people will seek employment or choose to visit or live elsewhere. Infrastructure that fails, coupled with the loss of good, if not great employees, will not sustain the town we have created and why people want to live and work here. These last 2 bullets are a good segue to my final goal, which is we must continue to recruit and retain qualified people. In today's society, more so than ever before, customer service is huge. Customer service drives the perception of any business, and as a town, we are no different. Our DPW and police officers are in the public eye every hour of every day. Our DPW, planning, finance, economic development, and administration front office staff work directly every day with our town residents and our business leaders. Our employees know our community, they know our residents, they like our residents, and they go above and beyond every day to help them. All of these people comprise the character quality that epitomizes our town. They are the people we want to employ, and it is vital we retain them. Their work is one of the hallmarks of our town. So my recommendations that I'm about to discuss should, I believe, allow me to achieve the goals that I've set forth and achieve those goals on the back of a balanced budget. So on to our highlights, and I emphasize highlights because there will be some changes that you'll see in the budget that are moderate increases here and there, but these are the ones that I wanted to specifically highlight and recognize, if you'll bear with me. So our personnel, since 1986, COLAs across the region have increased 95.1%. The town, since 1986, has only increased COLA 74.9%. In FY23, the COLA was 6.0%, and in FY24, it jumped to 7.5%, notably both FYIs were anomalies, because as of February 24 for the FY 25, it is projected, the COLA is projected to be 3.2%. For reasons primarily related to the CPI, you will note a 50% drop in the COLAs of the two anomaly years, from the two anomaly years, excuse me. We know the CPI ebbs and flows, and we cannot afford to use this decrease as a budget out, if you will. We know and recognize, despite the CPI, that costs are rising and we must keep pace lest we fall further behind. Therefore, to keep pace in the employment market and continue to move us in the right direction, I'm recommending to the Board of Town Commissioners a 3.5% COLA and a merit step for all employees. We have not provided our retirees with any increase in retiree health care benefits since fiscal year 17. Therefore, I'm recommending to the Board of Town Commissioners that we increase the town's portion of health premiums for eligible employees, a proposed 10%. From the Department of Public Works, we certainly pride ourselves on the cleanliness and maintenance of all our facilities. This is due in large part to the hard work of Jeff Uncart, who, along with Harry Marr, keep our facilities in immaculate condition. Jeff does a portion of our facilities. Unfortunately, we have been very disappointed in FY24 when we expanded our cleaning contract to additional facilities. We thought this would be a cost-saving measure, an initiative. It was not. We actually do far better when our own employees do the work. The company has been subpar at best, and therefore I plan to terminate our contract with them at the end of June. With that in mind, I am proposing to the Commissioners the hiring of a second building custodian to work with Jeff. This person will have a comprehensive set of custodial responsibilities at multiple locations to include DPW, planning, the Armory, the Rockfield Comfort Station, the band shell, the Recreation Center, and the parking garage elevators. For some time now, Director Klein has been in need of a part-time inspector to handle construction-related inspection responsibilities. I am therefore proposing to the Commissioners to hire a part-time Inspector 1. The Inspector 1 position plays a pivotal role in town initiatives to include sidewalk installations and street overlay projects. It will provide the benefits to the department in the form of enhanced construction oversight, efficient project support, contractor relations, comprehensive inspections, and proactive maintenance. Currently, these duties are performed by others in Mr. Klein's department, in addition to their regular assignments, which often results in unattended delays, which therefore then leads to poor customer service. In addition to these two first bullet points, I've additionally proposed or will propose to the Commissioners the following for DPW: the replacement of a leaf vac truck, the purchase of 2 pickup trucks, 1 snow blade for the skid steer, overhead garage doors and operator replacements for DPW. Again, this is a failing infrastructure issue that needs to be addressed. Entryway door replacements for planning and DPW, also failing infrastructure that needs to be addressed. The Armory hot water heater and circulation system, replacing that system, which is a failing infrastructure project, and then adding something new to the auditorium for the Armory, and that of dimmable lights at the request of our staff there to provide a better, more aesthetic value for the Armory when it is reserved by various parties. And then lastly, we want to become ADA compliant at Rockfield, so I'm proposing the rehabilitation of the barn so that it is ADA compliant. Moving on to our law enforcement, Chief Moore and I have frequently discussed the critical need to recruit new officers and retain our veteran officers. We also saw a need for advancement internally to give officers an opportunity to promote from within. And we saw by performing a slight reorganization of personnel, we could civilianize a position formerly held by a sworn officer, thus freeing up that sworn officer's position to return to patrol. Therefore, I'm proposing the following. We will be presenting to you the opportunity to create a civilian position entitled Logistics and Certification Specialist to handle the duties and responsibilities of former senior officer Zach Miller. This person will serve as a department armorer and responsible to conduct range qualifications, perform quartermaster duties, and yearly in-service training. As a result, sadly, of the loss of Officer Miller, and if we create the civilian position, we would then be able to take Officer Miller's sworn position and replace that sworn position with a new hire or a lateral, depending on the needs of Chief Moore. We are also in the process in order to create some internal promotions, as I talked about earlier, we are creating a lieutenant's position by eliminating a sergeant's position. This would be a competitive position within the department. We will be recommending the reclassification of the deputy chief's position to the new rank of major. We will be recommending the purchase of a remote trailer surveillance system, which many of you know we have used extensively, or had used extensively in the Hartford Mall corridor to curtail the high-end retail thefts that are occurring there. It was a very successful operation, so much so that we would prefer to have our own camera rather than having to borrow a camera from Allied Resources. We're also proposing to replace our police-issued Sig Sauer P229 40 caliber firearms and replace them with the Glock 17 9mm firearm. Chief Moore will go into more detail in later testimony for the logic and reasoning behind that. Suffice it to say, one of the reasons would be interoperability with other police agencies throughout the county. And lastly, under his department, we'll be replacing 3 police cars. On the administration side of the house, under Mr. Krantz, I am proposing to increase the file clerk's hours to 23 hours per week or 46 hours per pay period, up from 20 hours per pay. This would be as a result of an increased job responsibilities within the administrative department to include documentation scanning, increased numbers of ordinances, resolutions, leases, contracts, and MOUs, as well as camera operator duties supporting the live stream capabilities for the various meetings conducted here at Town Hall. Increased hours, again, will allow us to keep pace. Under the Planning Department and Director Small, I am proposing that we, the Plumtree Park renovation at $350,000, $50,000 match requirement for this will come from the Community Parks and Playground grant, which will provide funding to complete the renovation started several years ago, as well as providing AED facilities at each park and swings at the Plumtree and Homestead parks as well. An additional $300,000 of this $350,000 will fund the new playground surface area, which is consistent with what you see in Shamrock Park. Homestead Park, we are requesting a $280,000 allotment for the new playground surface, also modeled after Shamrock Park, as well as including handicap-inclusive playground equipment. We'll be looking to request wayfinding signage, which was in the amount of $25,000. We will be looking to do improvements to Thomas Street and George Street. It's a three-phase, $1 million project. And we have left the Burns Alley project for $585,000 for engineering and construction as part of that same planning department request. From our town partners' perspective, an ancillary goal I had was I wanted to make sure that we continued to support, to the extent that I believe we could, those nonprofit groups who help frame the character of the town, as well as support the town's economic vitality. While we were not able to fully fund each request, we were able to make sure most nonprofit groups receive some sort of financial support in the FY25 budget. A little bit of a summation from some of the issues or projects I just described to you in terms of paying for them and what we're recommending. So in terms of a quick review, by transferring funds for infrastructure improvement, we would move approximately $175,000 from our capital reserve account, which we can use to cover the requested infrastructure improvements, some of which we have postponed for several years due to lack of funding. For the following projects, we would recommend to the Board of Town Commissioners using funds from the American Rescue Plan Act. These items would be to purchase the replacement vehicles, to fund the improvements along Burns Alley, to complete the improvements on Thomas and George Street, to complete improvements to Homestead Park, and complete improvements to Plumtree Park as well. So I asked myself, why do I believe that this can be successful? Our budget can be successful, and we can accomplish these aforementioned tasks and projects because of the following. There will be no increase to health insurance premiums. We saw a decrease in our workers' compensation modification rate. We are benefiting from a 16% reduction in our workman's comp mod rate. The savings alone is a result of employees diligently practicing safety in the workplace. And while I know that most commissioners are familiar with this, but just as a form of a reminder that the decrease in our mod rate, there's a direct correlation between these two and the employees. The greater reduction in these costs, the more we can allocate to other projects. So it bodes well for us to keep illness and injury as low as possible, which we have. My staff has worked very hard to make our workplace as safe as possible, and is the number we've experienced fewer injuries in the workplace than previously, so our mod rate is dropping, which is good for us. Our income tax remains strong. We received an exceptionally good triannual real estate tax assessment that only increased real estate property tax by 3%. Our investment portfolio has done well with increased interest rates across the board. We received additional state highway user funds in the amount of $100,000. We have carefully used our ARPA funds, and we have carefully used our capital reserve. As I close, I believe that because of everyone's diligence in this budget process, I have managed and met my goals outlined earlier in this presentation. Staff and I have achieved the best outcome and expectation that we do not have to raise taxes, we do not have to cut any employee position or reduce or cut any service to the town or her residents, and we are keeping pace. I know that I've said that several times, and I know that the words keeping pace is rarely, if ever, phrased in governmental budgeting, excuse me. But I really cannot underscore enough how important that this keeping pace is for the continued sustainability of our town. I do not want to fall behind. We have fallen behind before, and it is very difficult to play catch up. It is my belief that this budget promotes fiscal responsibility and will enhance and sustain the exemplary level of service our residents have come to expect and appreciate. I will reiterate my thanks to Lisa Moody, my department heads and staff for their hard work and efforts to help me reach our budget goals. Tonight you will receive your budget binders. It is my intent to have the 7-page budget synopsis posted online tomorrow, Tuesday, 4/2/24, sometime during the day. Our first of 6 budget work sessions begin on Tuesday, April the 9th, with a second one on April the 11th. Please make note for our people who are viewing that the start time for all budget work sessions is 4:30. The first of 2 public hearings is Monday, April 15th at 7 p.m. The remaining budget hearings are scheduled throughout April and May. To our citizens, again, who are viewing, please check our calendar on the town website, and if you haven't already done so, be sure to sign up for our text notifications of said meetings. And with that, I'll close, and thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Hopkins. Any questions for Mr. Hopkins at this point? We will be going through the budget page by page with Ms. Moody over the coming weeks, so you'll have an opportunity certainly to ask questions again if you don't want any, have any this evening. For myself, I did want to say that it's certainly a compliment to Jeff. He's been a terrific employee, and it is certainly a compliment to how he's been taking care of the buildings that you're looking to hire another person. Also, I think the mobile camera is a terrific idea. We got a great deal of positive use out of those from other people, but we can't always expect them to be on loan to us, so I think moving ahead with that is terrific. And again, compliments to every town employee for the huge reduction in the mod rate. That, is a real savings from the workers' comp premium, and that gives you money to do other good things with in the budget.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, in that case, do we have any public comment on Resolution 1227-24? All right, there being no public comment and no commissioners' comments, Mr. Krantz?
Okay, the vote to receive Resolution 1227-24, Commissioner Rutledge,
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor,
Aye.
Commissioner Chance,
Aye.
and Chair Edding.
Aye.
The resolution is received.
Thank you, Mr. Krantz. Next, under new business, we have the contract to design the storefront enclosure of the parking garage stairwell. Do I have a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair, I'd like to make the motion that the hourly rate pricing for Frederick Ward Associate, 5 South Main Street, Bel Air, 21014, for architectural and engineering services is submitted to and accepted by Harford County Government, contract number 21-145, open-end architect engineering services be used to design an enclosure of a stairwell at the Bel Air parking garage in the amount of $51,400.
Thank you, Commissioner. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Klein?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Excuse me. The town of Bel Air has identified a need to address the deterioration of the stairwell at the Bel Air parking garage due to weather exposure. Over the years, the stairwell has required frequent maintenance, including 2 complete replacements and periodic painting to prevent rusting. To mitigate further damage and ensure the longevity of the structure, the town seeks to enclose the stairwell with a storefront-type structure. The town can utilize contract number 21-145 with Harford County, which grants access to competitive hourly pricing to design and engineer the stairwell enclosure at the parking garage. The county would reimburse the town 67.2% of the cost, or $34,540. Therefore, the town's share for this project would be $16,860. The proposed storefront-type structure aims to safeguard the stairwell from the adverse weather conditions, mitigating the need for frequent repairs, and extending its longevity. The initiative aligns with our objective to ensure prudent expenditure of town funds over time. Staff recommends that the hourly rate pricing from Frederick Ward Associates for architectural and engineering services as submitted to and accepted by Hartford County Government, contract number 21-145, open-end architect and engineering services be used to design an enclosure of a stairwell at the Bel Air Parking Garage for the amount of $51,400.
Thank you, Mr. Klein. Any questions from the commissioners? No. Any comment from the public? No? Mr. Grants?
To approve the contract to design and engineer staircase enclosure for the Bel Air Parking Garage. Commissioner Rutledge,
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor,
Aye.
Commissioner Chance,
Aye.
and Chair Edding.
Aye.
Contract is approved.
Thank you. Public announcements. It's April, and that means it's time to celebrate Bel Air's 150th anniversary. We invite members of the community to light their homes or businesses in green all month to mark the occasion. The community also is welcome to join us at noon on Thursday, April the 11th, as we ring a bell for Bel Air here at Town Hall. You can take a photo or video of yourself ringing a bell and post it on social media. Tag the Town of Bel Air on Facebook or Instagram and use the hashtag BelAir150. Our signature anniversary celebration will be the Then and Now showcase at the Armory on Saturday, April 27th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. We have 30 community organizations with roots in Bel Air, as well as town departments, slated to attend and display memorabilia. Visitors can check out Bel Air Volunteer Fire Company trucks and the Ma and Pa trolley in the lot behind the Armory. A concert with the Bel Air Community Band and Community Chorus will follow at 4 p.m. in Shamrock Park. Visit the town website or follow our social media feeds for more details about these and other Bel Air 150 events. The Planning Commission will meet at 6 p.m. on Thursday, April 4th here in Town Hall. The Appearance and Beautification Committee will meet at 7 p.m. Monday, April 8th at Town Hall. The Board of Town Commissioners will hold a series of budget work sessions beginning Tuesday, April 9th at 4:30 p.m. in Town Hall. Subsequent work sessions will be April the 11th, April the 23rd, April the 30th, May 9th, and May 14th. All sessions begin at 4:30 p.m. in Town Hall. There will be a public hearing on the budget on Monday, April 15th, during the Town Board meeting, which begins at 7 p.m. Coincidentally, that's also tax day. The Tree Committee meets at 4:30 p.m. on Wednesday, April 10th in the Bel Air Planning Department off of Churchville Road. The Bel Air Farmers Market opens its 2024 season on Saturday, April 13th. The market will be open from 8 a.m. to noon in the parking lot at South Bond and Thomas Streets. Visit BelAirFarmersMarketMD.com or follow the Bel Air Farmers Market on social media for more information. The Hartford County Education Foundation, which celebrates its 20th anniversary this year, is hosting a plein air and art exhibition featuring artwork created by Hartford County Public School students at the Bel Air Armory. There will be a ticketed VIP reception from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. on Friday, April 19th, and a community showing from 1 to 4 on Saturday, April 20th. The community showing is free and open to the public. Visit hartfordeducation.org/art-exhibition to purchase tickets for the VIP event as well as sponsorships. If you have a passion for tea, check out Tea Time Around the World from 2 to 4 p.m. Saturday, May 4th at the Armory. The event, which is hosted by Lassos Inc., linking also others succeed, is an opportunity to learn about how tea is prepared in different countries while also enjoying an international selection of sweet treats and sandwiches. Visit the Tea Time Around the World page on Eventbrite to purchase tickets, which are $25 per person. Follow Lassos Inc. on Facebook for more information. And that concludes the public announcements. Anyone have any other public announcements to add? That was a long list. All right, and now we are at public comments. Any public comment this evening? All right, no public comments. Commissioners' comments.
Madam Chair, yes, I do want to commend Mr. Hopkins and the staff and their hard work on putting together the budget proposal that we'll be digging into, and look forward to that process very, very much. And I want to recognize that the General Assembly is still in session. And in prior meetings, you know, we've talked about concerns about what could come out of the General Assembly that may impact our town's zoning authority. And there is a bill that passed the House, Bill number 538, that will be, I understand, taken up by the Senate very soon. And, I think they end this session on the 8th. You correct me if I'm wrong.
It is the 8th.
Commissioner Taylor, yes. So I took a look at what passed the House, and if this bill passes the Senate, then I think that our planning department and our legal counsel will be very, very busy taking a look at how these various things could impact us. And at one of the earlier times we discussed this, I did mention my concern about one particular section of the law that dealt with nonprofits. And the amended form that has just passed the House has created the opportunity for a new legal entity under which a nonprofit only has to be one of many general partners or one of many managing partners. And the rest, there's no restriction on how much a private for-profit developer entity can own. And that opportunity to create the new entity causes concern for me. And I've passed that along for hopefully there'll be some advocacy in the Senate on that. I understand they're getting, some of our representatives are trying to get, whatever opposition up they can to that particular aspect of it. But I think that would create certainly potentially some serious impact upon, how our zoning laws are going to be interpreted or affected. And that particular provision, I had concern about it as it was initially proposed, and now when I read that bill that actually passed the House and read that today, I am even more concerned because instead of requiring a development to have 50% for low-income housing, the purported goal of the entire legislation was to try to make housing more affordable. They reduced the threshold to 25% and have opened up the door for private for-profit entities to have a tremendous amount of potential profit in a project. And so the direction, the purported direction or goals of the law seem to have really veered way off track, but have tremendous amount of momentum and overwhelmingly passed the House. So we'll just put on our seatbelt, hang tight, stay tuned, and we'll see what happens in a week.
Thank you. Any other commissioners' comments? We're also anxiously awaiting the end of the legislative session so we can see what the legislature has done with the cannabis laws that they are currently working their way through. Our moratorium ends on April the 17th, I believe. The legislative body ends on April the 8th, so we'll take a look at what they've passed and what we have. We do have laws on the books already in accordance with what they passed last year, but we're waiting for further clarification this year, so I'm on the edge of my seat waiting to see what comes out of that. The budget outlook, I'm concerned about everyone's budget outlook. I think you've done a terrific job with the budget, Mr. Hopkins. I'm concerned about the highway user revenue. The state is facing like a $3 or $4 billion shortfall in the next few years. The Key Bridge, that was before the Key Bridge collapsed, which has got to have terrible effects on the state's economic outlook. And I know that the county has a $13 million shortfall right now, so it is going to be an interesting year, I think. So, anything else? All right. With there being no further business and having reached the end of our agenda, we stand adjourned, and it is 7:34.